Hi there, 7th graders. It's time to switch gears a little bit, and we're really going to dig into some geometry concepts. We're going to talk about translations today. And what is a translation? I know that you have some other definitions for that probably in your head, thinking about foreign languages, maybe having somebody translate what they're saying. In math, it's just a little bit different. A translation is a kind of transformation. A transformation basically happens when one figure changes into another figure. And there's three different types of transformations that we're going to be looking at. We're only going to look at translations today. So translations is those are one of the three types of transformations that can take place when one figure changes into another. The new figure is called an image, and a translation is a transformation in which the figure slides but does not turn. So it's kind of like you can put your finger on it and just slide it right over. I'm not popping a wheelie on this bike or anything. We have just taken the bike and slid it this way. Same thing here. I didn't turn the bike and drive downhill. We just took the bike. It's in the same exact position and slid it down. So there's no twisting or turning. It's in the same position. It just slides. Every point on the figure moves the same distance and in the same direction. And in a translation, the original figure and its image have the same exact shape. So we haven't changed this bike at all. It's kind of like we just took the bike, put our finger on it, and slid it over. Took it, slid it down. No turning. All right, so goal number one, I want you to be able to look at two figures and tell me if a translation has occurred. So take a look at number one. Here's figure A, here's figure B. To get from A to B, does it look like A has twisted or turned moving up to B? It doesn't look like that to me. It just looks like we put our finger on it and slid it right up. It's in the same exact position. Each point moved the same amount of space. So this would be definitely a translation. So I'm going to say yes. And I'm just going to refer to this as a slide. Maybe we can say no turns. It didn't turn. We just slid it. When you look at number two, is it possible to just put your finger on number two and slide it over? You can't just put your finger on A and slide it over. Wouldn't you have to turn it first and then slide it? Because a turn took place, that means it's not a translation. So we're going to say no. And for now, we can say it turned. The proper word for that is it rotated. And we'll have a whole lesson on that to come. Don't you worry, in case you were. But we actually had to rotate this, and then we translated it. So that's not just a translation because we didn't just slide it. All right. So hopefully, if I give you two figures, you can tell me if it's been translated from one to the next. Just picture putting your finger on it and sliding it over and ask yourself, did it twist or turn at all? If it twisted or turned, then it's not a translation. All right. So now what I'd like you to be able to do is if I give you a figure on a graph and tell you some directions, I want you to translate the figure. And remember, it said up here that in a translation, that every point on the figure moves the same distance and in the same direction, every single point. So when I tell you to translate this triangle 3 units right and 3 units down, that means you're going to translate A, B, and C, every point on that figure, 3 units right and 3 units down. I ask you also to list the new coordinates of the image, and then a little factoid of information here. When you translate the figure and you create your new figure, you're going to still use the letter A to represent where A was, but we're going to list it like this. This is read A prime. You use prime symbols when you're naming the image or when you're drawing the image. So, we're going to start off with letter A. Alphabetical order. Sounds good. Doesn't really matter which one you start with, you'll get the same result. So I want to take A and move it 3 units right and then 3 units down. So start at A. You don't start at the origin. We're going to move this point 3 units to the right. So 1, 2, 3. 3 units down, 1, 2, 3, and this is our new A. It's the image, so I'm going to put that after it. Think of it as kind of like a little I for image. Then I want to do the same thing with B. 3 units right, 3 units down. And we're going to do the same thing with C. 3 units right, 3 units down. And now's the time when you take your trusty ruler. If you don't have a trusty ruler, please grab one. Make some nice straight lines for me. Welcome back. Hopefully you hit pause, you grabbed a ruler, and you're drawing some nice straight lines right now. All right, So here's our new figure, and I forgot to put the C with a little mark after it so we know that that's the image. This is the original, this is the image. And as you can see, we didn't turn this shape at all to get it from here to here. We could put our finger right on it and just slide it. It's in the same exact position, we just slid it down. There are no twists or turns. That's what makes this a translation. The last part of this did say to list the new coordinates of the image. So when you're listing the new coordinates, I want to use those prime symbols so we know that we're listing the image. And now you're just going to give me the ordered pairs of where each of these points are located. Remember, in an ordered pair, it's x, then y, and this is our x-axis, and this is our y-axis. So to get to A, on the x-axis, you would go right 1, which is a positive 1, and down 2, which is a negative 2. To get to the image of B, you'd have to go right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'd have to go up 1, 2, positive 2. To get to C, you would go right 1, 2, 3, 4, and we would go down 1. And we're all done with that problem. Isn't that lovely? All right, we have one thing left to do. So turn your page. You might be thinking, wow, Mrs. Tremblay forgot to draw the shape on there. I didn't forget to draw the shape. That's going to be our job this time. So in this one, I tell you the vertices, like the corners, the points, of a square are, and I list 4 ordered pairs. So these are the 4 corners of a square. I ask you to draw the figure, and then I want you to draw the image after A, translation 4 units left and 6 units up. So our step 1 in this, we're going to draw the square that they're giving us. So we need to plot these points. And again, remember, ordered pairs are x, y. It's not like slow. It's not rise over run. It's x, y. And this is x and this is y. So x is 1 and y is negative 2. And that would be my A. I don't need that little mark because this is the original, not the image. B is 3, negative 2. So I would go starting from the origin, right 3, down 2. C is 3, negative 4. So back to the origin, 3 to the right, and 1, 2, 3, 4 down. And D is 1, negative 4. So 1 right, and 1, 2, 3, 4 down. Now that's a square. So we're going to draw those lines, and they happen to be right on the line. So maybe we could cheat a little bit. Unless you want, you can get your ruler. That would make me so happy. Go for it. So here's my original. Now what we're supposed to do is take this figure, and we're supposed to translate it 4 units left and 6 units up. So that means each point, I'm going to translate each point 4 units left and 6 units up. So again, I'm going to start alphabetically. That helps me keep things straight. So A, I want to go 4 units left, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, notice I didn't start at the origin. I started at A because that's the point I'm moving. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left and 6 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's my new A. I'm going to call it A prime. B, I want to do the same thing. 4 units left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 units up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's my B prime. I want to do the same thing with C. I know it's getting old a little bit. We're almost done. 1, 2, 3, 4 units left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units up. There's my C prime. And to get my D prime, 4 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have my D prime. And that is my new little image. Alright, so that's it. That's all you have to do. We drew the picture, we drew the image. Hopefully you learned lots. We'll see you next time.